On July 4, 1776, the representatives of the 13 American colonies explained why they believed separation from Great Britain had become necessary. The document was not only an announcement, it was an argument built on rights, government, evidence, and responsibility. It asked the world to understand why a people might dissolve political ties and establish a new nation. Its structure moves from general principles to specific complaints and finally to a formal declaration of political independence. The declaration begins with the belief that all people are created equal and possess rights that cannot rightly be taken away. Among these rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These principles establish a standard for judging government. Political power is valuable only when it protects the people's freedom and well-being. By placing rights at the beginning, the document explains that government exists for human purposes and should not be treated as an unlimited authority above the people. According to the Declaration, governments are created to secure people's rights, and their just powers come from the consent of the governed. This idea changes the direction of authority. Government is not presented as an unlimited power over the people. It is a public responsibility whose legitimacy depends on serving those it governs. The principle of consent means that political institutions should be connected to the people's will rather than imposed without representation or accountability. The document argues that when a government becomes destructive of the purposes for which it was created, the people have the right to alter or abolish it. They may establish a new government organized in a way that seems most likely to protect their safety and happiness. The argument also recognizes that change should be approached with prudence, because long-established governments should not be changed for small or temporary reasons. In this way, the Declaration presents revolution as a serious response to sustained injustice, not a casual reaction. To support its argument, the Declaration lists repeated actions attributed to the king. It describes interference with laws, legislatures, courts, judges, trade, taxation, military power, and local government. The long list is evidence. The colonists wanted to show that their complaint was not based on one disagreement, but on a continuing pattern of decisions that weakened their rights. The grievances function, as the documents prove, connecting the broad political principles to concrete experiences of control and harm. Among the complaints are the refusal to approve necessary laws, the dissolution of representative houses, the failure to allow new elections, and the creation of offices designed to harass the people. The Declaration also criticizes taxation without consent, restricted trade, denial of jury trials, and the use of distant courts. Together, these examples present a government acting without meaningful representation. The issue is not simply that particular laws were unpopular. It is that the people were denied a reliable voice in the decisions governing their lives. The colonists state that they repeatedly petitioned for redress in humble terms, that their petitions were answered only by repeated injury. They also remind their British brothers that they warned them about the consequences of these actions and appealed to their sense of justice and shared history. When peaceful appeals failed, the document presents separation as a necessary response rather than a first impulse. This part of the argument emphasizes that the colonists believed they had tried communication before choosing a complete political break. After presenting its principles and evidence, the Declaration makes its formal decision. The representatives announce that the United Colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states. They declare that political connection with Great Britain is dissolved and that the new states may levy war, conclude peace, establish alliances, regulate commerce, and do all other acts that independent states may rightfully do. The Declaration transforms a complaint into a claim of national status and political responsibility. The Declaration ends with more than a claim of freedom. Its representatives pledge to support the decision with their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor. The document therefore joins ideals to sacrifice and political independence to responsibility. Its lasting structure is an argument. People have rights, governments must serve them. Injustice can be challenged, and a new political future requires courage and shared commitment. The final promise shows that independence was presented as a collective duty as well as a political achievement.